Alright, we've won the die roll, so yeah. Let's play first. And this hand's pretty good. We've got access to all our colours, basic lands if we want them. We've got a Force of Will against any potential combo decks. And we have access to Source of Plowshares against aggressive decks. This is a good all-round hand to start off with. Wonder what our opponent's playing. So, from this, I mean, I'd prefer they weren't playing a combo deck, but because of the Swords of Plowshares in our hands. But let's lead on Flood this turn, so I can access basic planes on turn 1 if I want to. The chances are that if I want, I have access to Counterspell on turn 2. I don't mind fetching Tundra. Underground Sea Ponder. So this could mean a couple of things. They could be playing Ant, or they could be playing some other Dark Ritual based combo deck, like Reanimator, or they could be playing a Delver deck. I think those are my most likely options here. So they chose to shuffle their library. Okay, cool. Okay, so we drew top. Because I think they might be on Ant, I'm going to hold open Counterspell here. Top isn't very efficient at this point in the game. It's much better if I can play it next turn and hold up Counterspell as well. So, but whilst it's unlikely they can go off next turn if they have some sort of effect I'd like to counter, that's quite efficient for me. Okay, Plains is alright, so I can play the Plains and play top. Whilst Plains isn't particularly good at casting things like Counterspell, it's nice to have a land that I can use to activate my Sensei's Abandon top, and I don't want to burn all my fetch lands. So holding the Scalding Tarn for future selection with my top later is useful. So they fetched a Bayou on turn 2, which is an odd land for a Storm deck to fetch immediately. Though I'm not particularly familiar with playing that deck, so it might have something to do with their hand. And they played a Misty Rainforest and passed. I quite like these cards, so I'm going to keep them on top. The Ponder will allow me to dig a little further. The card I'm looking for is Brainstorm, really, because only half of my hand... Okay, we found a Brainstorm. Only half of my hand is good against either Delver or Storm, really. I don't want these players against Storm. I don't want the Force, really, against Delver, especially at this point when I have so many lands in play. The Snapcaster Mage is nice double duty. It means I can rebuy my Plows or the Counterspell. Okay, so my opponent's cracking their fetch line end of turn. Okay, the fetch a Trop. That's a bit weird. I wouldn't expect an Ant deck, which is what I think they are at this point after playing nothing for several turns, to fetch a Tropical Island, fetch a second green source, because as far as I know they don't play green spells main deck. I would expect them to fetch a red source at this point with the second green source. So that's a bit confusing. So maybe they are playing something like Sharpless and they've just got a really slow hand and they're going to play Planeswalker here. Or maybe they just don't want to play into Counterspell. But I feel like that's not going to work out for my opponent. The game will go long and this deck is likely favoured against most things in that situation. So I'm not sure what they're up to. It's a little awkward having these two fetch lands in this Brainstorm if I want to cast it, because I do want the Snapcaster Mage. I'm not sure how much I want it though. Low Dispatch. Okay, so they're playing combo probably. Okay, Dark Ritual. Okay, so I can't hamper their mana by countering this really. So I'm just going to let that resolve. And this is Infernal Tutor. It's fine. I don't think I'm particularly worried about that at this point. Another Dark Ritual. Okay. Sure. So I presume they have some sort of discard spell into business, but we have 2 counter spells. We only have 2 cards left in hand. And only 1 red source. Past in Flames. So they can't cast it and flash it back in 1 turn. That's what they have. Which it looks like they do, so they have Past in Flames now. Okay, so I'm going to counter this. I'm trying to work out whether I want to get this Snapcaster Mage off the top of my deck with this top. So I could flip top and get Snapcaster and maybe force pitching that. I don't think it's worth it. So I think I'm just going to crap my fetches and counterspell this. And then if I want to find another blue card, then I can spin top and look for it that way. I don't want to pitch my Brainstorm to Force of Will because these players are just dead. And whilst my Brainstorm gets worse after I crap my fetch line, I think that's probably the best way going forward, because I lose my top if I flip it now and crap my fetches to counterspell. So I don't want to risk doing that. Top is very valuable. It makes my win condition mental better, which is sort of what I want to find if we live through this turn. I just want to kill my opponent, really, or counterbalance. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm. Yeah. So let's fetch some dual lands. Let's fetch the Tundras. There's no real need to have Volcanic Island in against Ant game 1. It's odd that they decided to go off with no protection here into all my mana. So this is a little curious. So what's their last card? Playing something? Oh, Tendrils of Agony. Okay. So that's what, 16? So we go to 2? Wow. Why didn't they just wait a turn? They could just draw 1 more spell. They had a load more mana. What they had specifically. They just draw a Brainstorm or a Ponder. That was really strange. Okay. I don't really want these cards. So luckily we can fetch once. So I'll draw this Scalding Tarn. And spin my top. So we're really looking for a way to lock up the game, either counterbalance or mental to pressure my opponent. I don't want a third source to plowshares. So I'm likely going to have to fetch these away. I can't use the second Arid Mesa anyway. Okay, counterbalance. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So here I'm going to draw Terminus and leave Arid Mesa on top of my deck. Probably should have left them the other way around, Arid Mesa then Spellsnipe, but whatever. Terminus doesn't counter anything in their deck. It's unlikely they might be playing Empty the Warrens in the main deck, but I can brainstorm back my Terminus if I need to do that, and I can't crap my Arid Mesa anyway, but that does counter any Lines Diamonds or Lotus Petals my opponent wants to play. So I can rearrange these. Oh, we've had a 2 as well. That's pretty nice. So I can rearrange these to counter Ball Therapy. And at this point, we're not completely safe. We can't alternate cast Force of Will because we're on 1 life. However, I do feel at least somewhat favoured. So here I'm going to leave the 1 and the 2 on top of my deck, because the 1s and the 2s are the cards that generally matter in this matchup. Lion's Eye Diamond is scary when he has a Plastering Flames in the graveyard, but it's not really that big a deal. So here, I'm going to draw one of these 1s, draw this Brainstorm. So, yeah. We are now just really waiting for a way to finish off our opponent, and hopefully we get there before they can try and go off again. Whilst we do have Sensei's Divining Top and Counterbalance, it might be tricky to stop our opponent when we're at 1 life and can't cast Forcible. Okay, so they're just going to cast it, they don't know we have a 2. So they're just testing us to see if we do have a 2, which we do, which is a counterspell, which is a nice card anyway, because it means we can stop their Plastering Flames. Again, so yeah, I'll just draw this land, even though we can't use it. At some point we might end up playing one of our creatures, which turns on our fetch lands again. So I think it's worth having these in play. The shuffles are really valuable, so I'm not opposed to this. He's on 34, so if we have a Snapcaster Mage, whatever. I think yeah, so if I leave the Force of Will on top, it means we can counter Ad Nauseam for free. It's unlikely our opponent just goes for 1s at this point, because we have top in play and we've shown them a 1. Okay, there's a Mentor. So there's a nice way of us winning the game there. And I think I'm just going to run this out. We have 2 mana up, we have a 2 and a 5 on top. Sorry. We have 2 and a 5 on top of the deck to counter important spells, and we have access to Brainstorm to put players back on top of our deck if we need to do that, or we have players to gain life and to shuffle. So we have, well, there's a lot of things we can access here. So that's good. So for example, we can Brainstorm, make a monk, then play the monk and gain 2 life, and that means we can have our fetch lands back, or we have a Force of Will. Okay, so our opponent did in fact decide to run a 1 out into our counterbalance, so I can just Brainstorm here. So our opponent might be thinking about playing another 1, maybe a Dark Ritual here, because I'm quite clearly indicating that I don't have a 1 on top of my deck. That might be what they're waiting for. Which is a little scary. It would have to be the last Dark Ritual. It's Cabal Ritual coming, is it? Okay, so Cabal Ritual, so we have a 2 on 12. So that's fine, so we can counter this. Let's always yield to that. That'll save us a lot of time down the road. Okay, so we drew another Force of Will, another Counterspell, and another Mentor. So I knew about the Force and the Counterspell, obviously. So I'll put back this and that. Sure. Probably shouldn't have put back Brainstorm there. It's just such a flexible card that means we can have access to maybe countering another 3 or something if we really wanted to. I'm not sure what I want to counter for 3 out of their deck, apart from something like Crozen Grip postboard. Okay, so here's the Lion's Eye Diamond, which is a little scary, and I don't really want to spin my top and spend the mana to counter this. It does give them access to the Plastering Flames in their graveyard, but I think this is okay. Well, maybe not. We can counter all the 1s and the... We have a Spell Snare for a Cabal Ritual. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. They can flashback Plastering Flames for 5 if they crack Lion's Eye Diamond. And then we can counter the Dark Ritual that they cast. So if they have another ritual in hand, like a Cabal Ritual now, we can counter that with a Spell Snare. So they have to have another Lion's Eye Diamond or a Lotus Petal to... If they have a Lion's Eye Diamond, then yeah, that's quite bad for us. I guess we'd have to apply one of our creatures and force the Plastering Flames. If they have a Petal, then they'll have 2 mana. and then they can try and then they'll have mana to crack Lines of Diamond, cast Passing Flame to cast Cabal Ritual. We can spell stand the Cabal Ritual anyway, so they have to have Lines of Diamond to make this annoying for us, and we can still beat that, I think. So I'm not particularly worried here. I wonder what they're thinking about. Maybe they have a second tendril. But obviously, there's a second tendril. Oh, wait, they can't go for it because no, they would have just gone for it. Like they wouldn't have played the Cabal Ritual. They would have just played tendrils after playing the Dark Ritual that got counted. So I don't. Oh no, the Cabal Therapy that got counted. Sorry. So I'm all over the place. So let's think. I'm pretty sure we have this locked up at this point. Okay, so they're just not doing anything. I'm not going to play my top end of turn. Well, I guess not to punish too much by doing it there, but I don't think I should risk it. We're drawing Brainstorm anyway, which is fine. Which we can sort of brainstorm into. We can brainstorm back into our top and brief on top, and just get some monks in play. Start pressuring our opponent, because at some point they will be able to go off through our stuff. Somehow, I suspect. You know, even if they just have enough mana to flashback past in flames, cast Tendrils of Agony, that's kind of annoying. I know we have Force of Will. And okay, it's quite difficult for our opponent to go off here. Their discard is turned off by our counter top and something. I'm going to put Force of Will back on top in case our opponent draws something like Ad Nauseam or Dark Petition. They're cracking their fetch lands. Okay. Maybe they just want to F6 and thin their deck. It's pretty bad when you're playing Brainstorm and you haven't drawn any of them yet. But I suppose they're not going to resolve any of their Brainstorms anyway. So I suppose not too worrying. I don't want to tap out further and play a Mentor. It seems quite risky. Like one Mentor should be enough to kill our opponent here. So I want to have enough mana available for counter top and play my own guy and gain life and crowd fetch lands and cast Force of Will and stuff like that. So. What's going on here? 1, 2. Are you just casting passive flames? Okay, I'm just going to counter spell this. And maybe they are only playing one win condition in their main deck, one tendrils and no empty and no second tendrils, so maybe this just ends the game. Okay, sweet. We got that. Yeah. Okay, so post-board against matchup. Yeah, I like taking out the Terminus and some number of players, leaving a couple in for things like Dark Confidant and Xantis One. I like shaving on Mentors, as you saw in that previous game. They're quite clunky when you draw them in multiples. You usually only need one to just kill your opponent. Bending Clique is also a more flexible win condition, which is also disruptive. Flusterstorm and Surgical Extraction are pretty strong, especially Flusterstorm. Obviously, you can float that with your top, and it's quite difficult for them to go off sometimes through that. Pyroblast, I don't like bringing in all of them, but it's nice to have a couple to counter things like Brainstorm and Ponder, which are pretty powerful in their deck, and we have a couple of explosives remaining in the deck to remove things like Xantis Swarm and Carpet of Flowers and all of the tokens from a potential Empty the Warrens. It's a nice clean answer to that without having to play 6 mana white spells in your deck. And whilst it also answers potential other permanent stuff. So, yeah. It's pretty good. So let's submit this. I don't think there's an argument for changing anything. Okay. Sounds pretty reasonable. We're on the draw, so we have access. We might draw another land, but if we don't, we have Brainstorm and a couple of tops. And we have 2 draw steps to hit a land, and we have Flusterstorm, Counterspell, and Surgical Extraction. I'm pretty okay with this. I think this is quite strong. So I'm going to keep this. Opponent leads on Ponder. I would love to be able to Flusterstorm that. I am a big fan of just trading 1-for-1 with their cantrips in this matchup. They need to sculpt a hand, unless they obviously just draw the nuts. Often it's very difficult to interact with Storm when on the turn they are going off, and you need to continually disrupt their game plan of sculpting a good hand. So they chose to shuffle their library and draw a card with Ponder. Now they are thinking. So maybe they have some sort of fast Lotus Petal kill, Lotus Petal ritual, etc. Maybe that's what they're waiting to think about. Maybe they don't have the piece of discard, so they're worried about Force of Will, so they seem to be choosing to pass. Okay. So we draw a Plag in case they draw and play Dark Confidant or Gentle Swarm. So that's nice. Swarm has been sort of dropping off recently in this, but I think it's still worth keeping in some number of Plags. I think it's better than having the 3rd Pyroblast or the 3rd Mental, and the 3rd Mental, as the case may be. So I'm holding up Flusterstorm here, and next turn I will Brainstorm in my main phase to give me the best shot at finding a second land. I don't need 2 mana next turn. I can have Flusterstorm and Surgical, and that's generally good enough for countering a 6-card hand, I think. So we drew our lands, so I can put back one of these redundant plows and one of these redundant tops, so that's pretty good for us. I guess the other card that we could consider is something like Ruination in this matchup, because the games do go quite long, and Abrupt Decay from our opponent's side is quite important for them beating our counterbalance lock. And if you destroy all their lands at some grindy point in the game, it's quite difficult for them to come back. However, you also get games like this where you want to fetch all your dual lands. Duress is interesting here. So I kind of want to protect the information in my hand. I suspect the card they would take anyway with Duress is Flusterstorm. So I'm just going to Flusterstorm this Duress. They haven't shown me a 3rd land drop yet, so they might not be able to go off. They might not have another black source. So next time we can attack with Counterspell. And protecting the fact that we have Surgical Extraction and Snap Custom Mage for our Flusterstorm or Surgical Extraction, and that we have Plow for, like, we have so much information in our hand which is truly valuable that I want to protect it. And because we have quite a strong hand, I don't mind spending a Counterspell on this Duress. So our opponent might be thinking about playing another land and trying to combo us, or playing a cantrip. If they don't play a cantrip here, it might indicate that they have a faster hand, or they have a bunch of decays in their hand, that sort of thing, decay and Crescent Grip. Or they have, you know, obviously green spells like Couple of Flowers and Xanted Swarm that they can't play. Okay. Or that they, you know, as I mentioned earlier, they have a fast hand, and then they have 1 black source. So we drew another fetch land. That's nice for our top later. I'm not going to play the fetch land now because we can't really abuse it. So I'm just going to hold up Snapcaster Flusterstorm, which is a pretty nice out, because they can, if they duress us, they can take our Counterspell or our Surgical, but they can't take our Snapcaster Mage. Which is pretty good for us here. So I'm going to leave that up. We don't need top in play yet. We have plenty of action. And okay, Bayou. That's nice. They found their second black. Okay, they're passing the turn. So I suspect that they're either missing a key combo piece or their hand is all decayed. I think here I'm just going to cast Snapcaster Mage. I think that's a reasonable line. It's important for us to pressure them. As the game goes longer, our opponent will probably become favoured post-board. They have a lot of answers in their deck to our lock pieces, and we do need to end up killing them. So I can Snapcast a Brainstorm here, which means I can look at more cards, and I will be able to shuffle away one of the potential cards later. So yeah, I think this is reasonable. It seems our opponent might have a slow but very secure hand, and I want to just hopefully get the game over with. So I'm going to get rid of the second source to plowshares. The land is annoying that we had to draw it. I mean, it wasn't the best use of brainstorm. This is why you don't cast brainstorm in a turn, because look, that wasn't particularly great. But now we can play top and have top activation, counterspell, and search pull up. And yeah, we have plenty of lands for our top and future threats. It's not the worst to have these lands. So. They will be useful eventually. So I wonder what our opponent's thinking about. Okay. So let's just get in there with Snapcaster and let's have a race. 9 turns to go. Yeah, just passing again. Okay, so let's have it. Yeah, they must be looking for something specific before they are willing to go off. Maybe another piece of discard, so they can see what we're up to before they try and kill us, or something like an Infernal Tutor or a Past in Flames. It might well just be the discard though. If we were willing to Flusterstorm a Duress, that indicates that our hand is potentially strong, and they don't want to just burn their hand into a Force of Will. Oh, sweet. So Counterbalance is an excellent find here. It's likely they do have an Abrupt Decay, but we can play Counterbalance and have Counterspell up, and have Top Activation up. So it's a relatively safe play with potential very high upside. So we could leave the Source of Plowshares on top as I did, which we found again. I thought we shuffled that away, but we found that again. It's obviously coming back to haunt us. We're playing multiple players post board against end. Okay, Dark Ritual, sure. So this is I think they're going to try and go for an end of turn ad nauseum before we resolve Counterbalance, which also indicates that they don't have a decay. This is a really greedy line, I think, because they're just getting punished by this counterspell that they've been playing around before. But they could have just, they should just try and draw a decay. That's really strange that they did that. They should just sit and wait. I guess they had lots of cards in hand and they might discard if they didn't draw land. But really, okay, I'm not going to crap my fetch and spin my top to try and get rid of this Lotus Petal. We know we have a 1 on top already. If my opponent plays something like a 2, then maybe I want to spin my top or something. To counter something like an Infernal Tutor. Or potentially, no, I probably wouldn't counter a Cabal Ritual here. I don't know if I care too much about that. Because they've burnt their ad nauseum. So the card I'm afraid of is Past in Flames. I think okay with just Cabal Ritual making 3 mana. That's not that bad. 2 mana, and it's keep guaranteeing that I have a 1 on top is pretty strong. Live Diamond. Okay, that's fine. So do they have the tutor here to go with their Live Diamond? Okay, so they seem to have their tutor. This is interesting. So they don't have to hold priority here until after the Counterbalance trigger resolves. So I think this is worth cracking my fetch land over, certainly. I don't know. I mean, they're going to go and get Past in Flames, and then I have Surgical Extraction. But, I don't know. It's such a free... Well... Yeah, I mean, I can counter the Dark Rituals post Past in Flames. But I always have the top to flip and have a 1 on top anyway. So I could just let Past in Flames resolve, and then I can Surgical the Tutor or something. But they're going to get to ad nauseum. Or something kind of, they can go Past in Flames, Cabal Ritual, yeah. So let's just spin top. I think it's too risky letting this resolve. Okay, so we didn't find it. So let's go ahead and leave the 1 on top, so we have access to a counter spell for the Dark Rituals and the Ponder. And then they will be able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flashback. So they'll be able to, if they're going to get past in flames, what I suspect, they're going to crack under them and get past in flames. Then they will cast past in flames. Then they will cast Cabal Ritual, I will suspect, and then they will have what, 9 cards and 10 cards in their graveyard. So they will have flash shots, so they'll go up to 5 black, and they will cast Ad Nauseam. But I can surgical their Ad Nauseam. Oh, they have tendrils as well. That's tricky. So this is going to be what? 4, 5, 6, 7. But tendrils will only be for 14? I mean, they could also go and get empty here, which would be fine. If they got empty the Warrens, we have 2 mentors on top of our deck. And Mentor is pretty good at fighting empty. If they just got empty here, they'd make 10 goblins. And we have... well, we're definitely going to play at least 1 Mentor, probably 2. Which I suspect just beats empty the Warrens. I'm not particularly worried about that at this point. In fact, if he goes for that, that's very risky, because we have so many potential answers to empty. Like Mentor and Terminus, which we might have in our deck. He doesn't know that we've taken it out. And Explosives, which we didn't show them game 1, but it's fairly common for us to play that. We might also just have Entreat the Angels. We haven't got a second white source in play, but that's another way we beat that. Whereas maybe just getting Tendrils doesn't win. But just casting Ad Nauseam seems fine. You're on 16. With draw loads of cards. Just find the decay. Okay. Like, you just playing around me having surgical here? Okay. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to spin top and put Spellsnare not on top of my deck and draw Mentor and flip top into Mentor. So yeah, let's leave the second Mentor on top because I want to access that first. It might be that they draw something like Brainstorm, which is kind of annoying, but we can flip top into Mentor to counter something like that anyway. So let's play our top, and let's play a Mesa. So here we have an interesting choice when we block. So we can play one of the goblins and then block, and then we block 1, 2, 3, 4, and we exile one of them. So then we take 5 and go to 13. Or we block with all of our guys, take 7 and go to 11, and then play another Mentor and another top. And then our player will make 2 tokens, and our top will make 2 tokens, and I think that's just a surefire way of defeating the goblins. So I think that's likely what I'm going to do. It depends on what my opponent wants to do here. So yeah, if my opponent plays a 1, I'm just going to flip top into Mentor, counter the 1. There's no, they only have 1 card in hand, so we know we only have to counter 1 spell, so that's okay. If they play a 2, I'm not sure what they play on 2. I guess if they play Infernal Tutor or something, then I guess that's fine. They don't have enough mana for that to be really scary. Infernal Tutor for LED, does that do anything? No, they don't. So it's just casting Infernal Tutor casting frames? Yeah, okay, so they're attacking. Sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and block these, I think. So I'll just take 7 and go to 11. And then I can draw Mentor, play top, and play and make 2 guys per non-creature spell. And at that point, their goblins are basically just nullified. Just thinking, are there any other benefits to ploughing now as opposed to waiting? I mean, cracking and getting rid of this. I mean, I think we would still beat the goblins by just ploughing now anyway. We even have the surgical. But I suspect they aren't playing any more wing. They don't seem to be playing some sort of grinding station variant. So they aren't playing any more wing conditions than the cards that are in their graveyard. So we just have to make sure past and Funds doesn't resolve this game if we beat these goblins. Block here, here, and let's block here. So we're taking 7, we're 11, and we'll just flip top in our upkeep, draw the mental that we left on top. Play mental, play top. And I don't care about having the spell snare on top of my deck. If I need it, then I can flip top and counter a 2-mana spell with my spell snare. But again, I don't know what's particularly scary. It costs 2. I think I'm just going to get in for 3 here. I mean, we're going to have plow and make 2 guys, so we'll exile 1 creature and we'll have 5 to block with. So we'll take 1 next turn. So I think getting in for 3 is fine. And if we really want to block all of them, we have such a pool to make 2 more guys. So. Yeah, our opponent's just behind there by quite a lot. They might not even attack, actually. So yeah, we have the spell snare on top, so we can just counter this probe. Yeah, thinking about attacking. Yeah, they didn't attack. Makes sense. So I don't think they can win now again. They're just behind by a lot. They have to have a very specific set of draws to beat this. So we find another counterbalance to play around Abrupt Decay. I'm going to flip top into counterbalance and play 2 spells and make 4 more monks. Let's yield to these. It's a great feature. I truly love the auto yield to all monks feature on Magic Online. It saves so much time. Yeah, I think I'm just going to attack with the monks. I mean, I could attack with my mentors, but I mean, I don't want to risk losing them. I think it's unlikely to matter at this point now. I guess they'd have to jump block anyway, because we'd have way more than lethal with just the monks next time. So maybe it was just correct to attack. Probably was. Yeah, so I'll just put a fetch on top and leave the 1-mana spell on top. And draw a card in my upkeep. And draw top. Play the strand, play top, trigger all my guys, and now I'll just up the strike. We have so many creatures, but it's a little silly. Yeah, I just don't think Empty the Warrens is reasonable against Miracles, unless you do it on like turn 1 for 20 or something. It's just worse than what I'm doing. It's not fast enough to stop me developing my board like this, or using explosives, or Terminus. It just seems bad. So yeah, I'm just going to attack with everything. And our opponent's thinking about blocking, so they could triple block both the mentors, and then they take 10, so they can't do that. Okay, it looks like they're just going to single block everything and take 2. I don't know what they're hoping to draw. Like, they need 2 decay effects to beat both our counterbalances into, like, Lion's Eye Diamond and Past in Flames. Maybe that would do it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they had decay now. Okay, so they have decay now. But then, yeah, okay, so decay into Lion's Eye Diamond, decay, Past in Flames. Does it. They have exactly enough mana to cast decay, Past in Flames. Oh no, they don't, because they need to cast Lion's Eye Diamond first. Yeah. Yeah, they cracked Lion's Eye Diamond, they'd be 1 mana short. Yeah, alright.